Hey, everybody. It's great to be on here. Hard to believe, though, that it has been just shy, almost one whole year since I was actually diagnosed with what I am claiming is the final tick-borne illness I will ever deal with, and that is Bartonella, good old Bart, as I like to affectionately call this little bugger. Um, so, hey, if you don't know me, let me recap and back up really briefly, and I'll tell you where you can get caught up if you're just jumping into this mid story, right? So, hi, I'm Adele, and I'm a Lyme healing queen. I have had multiple tick-borne illnesses um, since childhood, uh, undiagnosed, untreated, or not treated properly, depending. And bottom line is, I am approaching remission or have achieved remission in all of them, um, except for I'm still working on that Lyme disease a little bit. And what we think has been holding it up, but was kind of flying under the radar and went undetected for many years, probably is also Bartonella. So I was able to get a handle on that being a culprit in my healing hijack, where I wasn't making the progress I should have been seeing from what I was doing to treat and heal my body. I was finally diagnosed with Bartonella as that culprit last February. I think it was actually February 10th to be very specific, but actually what you guys can do to see more about that is on my YouTube channel and my blog, adelecole.com/blog, or my YouTube channel, just search my name, Adele Cole, and my channel's there. You can find 3 different videos or blogs, depending on where you're at, about my Bartonella journey from last year. It's been a while since an update, and so I thought it was time, and that is why I'm hopping on here today. This is the 4th part of my Bartonella journey, which I've been calling Beating Bartonella, because it will be beaten. I assure you all. Um, if you are catching this on YouTube right now live, hi, welcome to my channel. Feel free to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any content and you get all the notifications and updates. Anyway, yes, so I invite you to check out the backstory either on my blog or YouTube channel to get yourself caught up. I go over, everything, my initial feelings about the diagnosis, the surprise of it, how we came to the diagnosis, my treatment plan, and all of that jazz. So here we are a year later. Where have we been? Let's quickly recap. Again, check out what I've put out there already for the full saga. But things have been kind of status quo for a while, which is why there hasn't been a Beating Bartonella update until now. And even now, there's still more to come. And I'll explain that as we go through this. But where I've been, when I was initially diagnosed, I was on one antibiotic, azithromycin, I believe it was. I'd have to look back, and I should have checked before I got on here, but I'm pretty sure it was good old Zithro. And I was put on a bunch of herbal regimens. Now, a lot of these things crossed over into my Lyme treatment world anyway. So that's what's cool about treating Bartonella. There can be a lot of crossover. So I actually was already on the antibiotic when I was diagnosed with Bartonella. I had also been working really hard to get onto herbals, and I was actually having better success with a combination of antibiotics and herbals. Every time I tried to go off antibiotics for any treatment purposes, I was having major setbacks with symptoms. A number of times for over, it wasn't just like a time try after like a little time of treating. This was like long-term treatment, trying to help my body heal so that I wasn't dependent on prescription medication to help me heal further. Not that there's anything wrong with anyone's individual journey. My caveat always is, besides the fact that I'm not a medical professional here to treat, diagnose, cure, or otherwise discuss your individual healing journey, also, your individual healing journey matters. And if you're doing it in a way that's unique to you, kudos to you. If you're having success and victories and you're feeling good about what you're doing, then you can't ask for anything more than that, correct? So my healing journey wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be, but I was working to get it where I wanted it to be. And this seemed to be the key because shortly after I started my Bartonella treatment, which started with one antibiotic and multiple herbals, I was actually able to wean off that antibiotic rather quickly within a few months and experience continued success and increased success on herbals alone. Finally, it was really exciting. We had tried some new herbals in the regimen. I will say, I think Byron white tinctures and formulas for me were a game changer in the herbal world. I'm not promoting them as like any kind of spokesperson. I'm just mentioning that that was the one factor that was different in my herbal treatment now this past year compared to previously. Because I know Byron White might be a little newer on the scene, and my Lyme provider is very good about doing her due diligence and research before she treats with anything that she is not able to back herself and know herself is a good choice. And actually, my kids had really good results on Byron White formulas themselves. And so I think seeing that gave us even more confidence that I would also experience potentially good success with them as well. I know, again, everybody's different, but it helps if you have a genetic component kind of in your favor, maybe, right? And it seems to be the Cole family here does well with Byron White formulas. I will say, it was a start low and slow situation. I was happy to be under the guidance of a Lyme literate provider for this because it's powerful stuff. And we were adding in multiple herbals at like not at once, but stair stepping them over months. So I was diagnosed in February. I wasn't on my full herbal regimen until maybe even June. Now that I think about it, at least April. But I think I was still weaning onto stuff into June. So we started things one at a time and increased dosing one at a time. And some things were fine. And I was able to go quickly. Byron White formula, I had to go very slowly. I was doing ABART for those that want to know, but I go over all that in my previous videos too. And I've been on the same regimen since then of these herbals, which has been great because it's been very doable. I felt good on it. No herxing or anything. Like in the beginning, there was a little bit of controlled herxing and like just go slow kind of a situation. And I was able to detox through it and all good after a little while. Since then, no issues whatsoever, been doing really well. I've tolerated the regimen well for a year, and now my Lyme provider, I just had a follow-up visit with her recently, and we were going over what next steps would look like for this beating Bartonella journey of mine. So, what that looks like is actually she's been doing some research into some of the herbals I'm taking, and I'm able to increase some of the dosing actually. So we're going to be doing that because we thought I was kind of at maybe what was my max amount for them, but it looks like I can do more if I tolerate more. So we're going to try that because I can tell I'm not 100% fully healed and there quite yet, fully in remission or healed, however you want to look at it. I know how I look at it. Mindset, guys. Mindset for healing right here. So we will actually be checking some lab values soon to just see if my success is matching what my body is showing internally. So I did not have a ton of Bartonella symptoms, and that was what made this a tricky diagnosis. Once I started treating, my main symptoms kind of popped up, like lit up a little bit more, which was some of the herxing I experienced, and then it died back down pretty well. But what has remained ongoing primarily for me has been burning in the soles of my feet. That's a classic Bartonella symptom, actually. And I never knew it until I started seeing a Lyme professional, but also part of my Lyme treatment kind of put that symptom to rest for a little while. So I wasn't having it a ton, at least not that I was like aware that, oh, this might be a thing. And so once I started treating, it was really bad again for me, really uncomfortable, kept me like uncomfortable when I would be, especially when I'd be resting, but sometimes when I'd be on my feet a lot. So it was really hard to manage that symptom, to be honest. But I knew that my best bet was treating. Got to treat it to get rid of it. So, I stuck with the treatment, of course, and, peppered in some holistic ways of managing the pain, namely like essential oil foot rubs and detox baths and foot baths, those kinds of things. Those really helped me the most. So I stuck with those the most. I did some CBD cream on my feet as well if it was really bad. And all of that seemed to help. Um, you know, for what it's worth. I know everybody again is different, but sometimes simple stuff does work. And for me, those simple foot rubs and some plant juice was the key for me. Um, and I also, of course, made sure my lifestyle supported my healing because you can't just throw treatment at something and not have a healthy lifestyle that is building up your body's best defenses and natural body systems. Like your body detoxes, cleanses, and fights for you naturally. So I just wanted to always be supporting that. And that's always going to be a part of my healing practice personally. And then what else did we do? Okay, so that was one of my main symptoms. That's what I was telling you about. And my other main symptom that has been gone for a while, it's been gone for months now, but it cropped up bad when I started treating also was Bartonella, kind of like a rage. Bartonella can come with mental health stuff and like mindset disturbances in the form, usually everyone's a little different sometimes, but in the form of like anxiety and like rage and kind of out of characteristic mood swings even could be part of that. And I was having some of that stuff going on. And at least I could know that it was probably related to this. And like I said, for months now, a while actually, that's been pretty much gone. Gone. It has been gone. I haven't can't even tell you the last time I really felt like that was popping up in my world, because that's not a lot of fun, and that really can be disruptive, more than anything, actually, sometimes that is the most disruptive to life when your mental health is compromised. So sometimes there's a physiological reason, and for me, a lot of mental health stuff that has cropped up, especially the more severe stuff, has been related to tick-borne illness things or hormonal things more than anything else in my own life. And the hormonal stuff can actually be related to the tick-borne illness stuff. So once I've been able to manage those things better, because those causes have solutions, and I've been able to manage them holistically and do a whole lot better through that path, which has been awesome. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Those are my two main symptoms. I would say the raginess and the foot burning, and the raginess is gone, and the foot burning is like more than 50% better, actually probably 75% better. I only notice it intermittently and it's milder when it is happening. So that leads me to believe that we're on the right track. So what's next will be we're going to do a lab recheck this spring soon. We're kind of clustering our labs for our family. So that's why it's not happening quite yet. And we'll go from there. I expect to be treating longer because Bartonella typically requires longer treatment, but I think I'm doing a lot of things right to minimize the amount of time I'm treating to the best of my ability. One of the main things I also have added in this past year, two main things. Chiropractic care um, is something our family invested in like full time this past year instead of intermittently. We hadn't been really great about it in the past. I'm glad we're doing it. I think it's making a huge difference in our healing. Why wouldn't it be? That's a whole topic for another day. But chiropractic care has been top notch for us. And we've invested in zytoscanning. We started that just prior to my Bartonella diagnosis, but I guarantee you it's making my healing journey through Bartonella 1,000 times better because it literally is telling me exactly what's going on inside my body and what layer of healing we're dealing with and what my body's asking for or needing to support healing, whether that's Bartonella specifically or just healing in general, because there's always layers beyond a simple diagnosis. It's never that simple. But sometimes the support can be really simple, like drinking water or walking or eating a certain food or saying a certain affirmation. Like healing doesn't have to be complicated all the time either. So I think those holistic ways of adding some healing tools into treatment in general definitely seems to make a difference. I notice it myself, but I also notice it in all the family members participating too. So I know it's not just me. And I know, therefore, that I'm optimizing what I'm doing to beat this Bartonella once and for all. So I hope this update was helpful and informative, and thanks for waiting for it because honestly, there was not much to say until now. I felt like I could give you a big picture of the past 12 months of treatment, and hopefully, there are not too many more ahead of me, but I probably will be able to do another update after we see where I'm at with my next follow up visit in a couple months and with some labs on the table too, just to gauge everything. So until then, have a great weekend and I'll catch you next time.